Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm pleased to be here today to talk about ensuring pharmaceutical data integrity. I'm Dr. S.K. Singh, and I hold a PhD in this important field. Today's presentation is titled Ensuring Pharmaceutical Data Integrity, and will explore key aspects of maintaining accurate, reliable, and compliant data in the pharmaceutical industry. Over the next few slides, we'll cover the principles, best practices, and regulatory considerations to help you strengthen data integrity in your operations. Let's get started. Let's talk about data integrity and some of the related laboratory deficiencies that can occur. Ensuring pharmaceutical data integrity is absolutely crucial because it underpins the reliability of our entire quality system. When we talk about data integrity, we're really emphasizing the importance of maintaining accurate, complete, and consistent data throughout its life cycle. This is vital not only for compliance, but also for patient safety and product quality. Now, when laboratories have deficiencies, whether it's incomplete records, unapproved changes, or data manipulation, that can seriously compromise data integrity. These issues can lead to incorrect conclusions, regulatory actions, or even product recalls. Throughout this presentation, we'll explore how these deficiencies happen, their potential impact, and most importantly, how we can implement effective measures to prevent them. Our goal is to foster a culture where data integrity isn't just a requirement, but a fundamental part of everyday laboratory practices. Ensuring pharmaceutical data integrity is absolutely crucial in our industry. When we talk about data integrity, we're referring to the accuracy, consistency, and reliability of data throughout its life cycle. This is vital because the decisions we make about drug quality, safety, and efficacy all depend on trustworthy data. If data is compromised or incorrect, it can lead to serious consequences, including regulatory issues or even patient safety risks. Throughout this presentation, we'll explore how maintaining data integrity is not just a regulatory requirement, but a fundamental part of delivering safe and effective medicines. We'll look at the key practices and controls that help us safeguard data, ensuring that our information remains complete, consistent, and reliable from start to finish. Ensuring pharmaceutical data integrity is absolutely crucial in our industry. It's about making sure that the data we rely on for decision-making, compliance, and patient safety is accurate, consistent, and trustworthy. When we talk about data integrity, we're referring to the completeness, consistency, and reliability of data throughout its life cycle. This is not just a regulatory requirement, but a fundamental aspect of good manufacturing practices. Maintaining data integrity involves implementing robust controls, such as audit trails, access controls, and validation processes. These measures help prevent errors, fraud, or tampering. It's also about fostering a culture of accountability and transparency within our organizations. By prioritizing data integrity, we're ensuring that the information supporting our products is solid. This ultimately safeguards patient health, supports regulatory compliance, and upholds the reputation of our companies. It's a shared responsibility that underpins the entire pharmaceutical industry's integrity and success. Ensuring pharmaceutical data integrity is absolutely crucial in our industry. When we talk about data integrity, we're referring to the accuracy, consistency, and reliability of data throughout its life cycle. It's not just about having correct data, but also making sure it remains unaltered and trustworthy from creation to archival. This is essential because decisions about patient safety, regulatory compliance, and product quality all hinge on the integrity of this data. In this slide, I want to emphasize that maintaining data integrity is a shared responsibility. It involves robust processes, strict controls, and a culture of accountability across all levels of the organization. We need to implement proper validation, secure data access, and regular audits to prevent errors or tampering. Ultimately, ensuring data integrity supports compliance with regulatory standards and builds confidence in our products. It's a foundational element that underpins the entire quality system and helps us maintain trust with regulators, partners, and patients. So, as we continue to explore this topic, Keep in mind that safeguarding data is not just a technical requirement, but a core ethical obligation in pharmaceutical manufacturing. Ensuring pharmaceutical data integrity is absolutely vital in our industry. It's the foundation that supports reliable decision-making, regulatory compliance, and ultimately, patient safety. When we talk about data integrity, we're referring to maintaining the accuracy, consistency, and trustworthiness of data throughout its life cycle. This means implementing rigorous controls and procedures to prevent data from being altered or compromised, whether intentionally or unintentionally. It's important to recognize that data integrity isn't just an IT concern. It's a shared responsibility across all levels of an organization. From manufacturing to quality assurance, everyone plays a role in safeguarding data. This involves establishing clear policies, conducting regular audits, and fostering a culture of accountability. In the context of our overall presentation, ensuring data integrity ties directly into compliance with regulations like the FDA's 21 CFR Part 11 and the expectations for good manufacturing practices. When we get this right, it enhances trust with regulators, partners, and ultimately, the patients who depend on our medicines. So, prioritizing data integrity isn't just about meeting standards. It's about upholding the integrity of the entire pharmaceutical process. Ensuring pharmaceutical data integrity is absolutely critical in our industry. When we talk about data integrity, we're referring to the accuracy, consistency, and reliability of data throughout its life cycle. It's not just about avoiding errors. It's about maintaining trust in the information that guides decisions, from research and development to manufacturing and compliance. Key points to focus on include implementing strong controls to prevent data manipulation or loss, and ensuring data is complete and accurate at every step. We need robust systems and procedures that support data validation and regular audits, which help catch issues early. Additionally, fostering a culture of accountability and awareness among staff is essential. Everyone involved must understand the importance of maintaining high data integrity standards. This concept ties directly into our overall theme of quality and compliance. When data is reliable, it underpins safe, effective medicines and helps us meet regulatory requirements. It's about building a foundation of trust that supports the entire pharmaceutical life cycle. Ensuring pharmaceutical data integrity is absolutely crucial in our industry. When we talk about data integrity, we're referring to the accuracy, consistency, and reliability of data throughout its life cycle. It's not just about having correct data. It's about maintaining that correctness from the moment it's created all the way through to its use in decision-making. This is especially important because pharmaceutical decisions, whether they involve research, manufacturing, or regulatory filings, depend on trustworthy data. If data is compromised or inaccurate, it can lead to serious consequences, including regulatory issues or even patient safety risks. To safeguard data integrity, organizations must implement robust controls, such as strict access controls, audit trails, and validation processes. Regular audits and training are also vital to ensure everyone understands their role in maintaining data quality. Ultimately, protecting data integrity supports compliance, enhances trust in our products, and upholds our commitment to patient safety. This slide ties into the overall theme of quality and compliance that runs throughout our presentation, emphasizing that data integrity isn't just a technical requirement. It's a fundamental part of our ethical responsibility in the pharmaceutical industry. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. Now, let's take a moment to consider some key questions when we're trying to determine GMP criticality. These questions are essential because they help us focus on what truly impacts product quality and patient safety. First, we want to ask, does this process or component directly affect the quality of the final product? If it does, then it's likely to be critical. Next, we need to consider the extent of the impact. How severe could the consequences be if there's a deviation or failure? Understanding this helps us prioritize our controls and efforts. Another important question is whether this process or component is part of a regulatory requirement or a validated process. If it is, then it probably has a high criticality. We also need to ask, what is the likelihood of a risk occurring here? If the risk is high, then it warrants more attention and stricter controls. Finally, we should consider the overall risk to patient safety and product efficacy. By asking these questions, we align our focus on the most critical areas, ensuring that our GMP efforts are effective and proportionate to the level of risk involved. This approach helps us uphold quality standards and safeguard public health. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. When it comes to cloud services, we often rely on third-party suppliers to provide these essential solutions. These suppliers are external companies that deliver cloud infrastructure, platforms, or software as a service. They play a crucial role because they allow organizations to access powerful computing resources without having to build and maintain their own data centers. It's important to understand that choosing a third-party provider involves evaluating their security, reliability, and compliance measures. Since these providers handle sensitive data and critical operations, their trustworthiness directly impacts our own security posture. This highlights the broader theme of our presentation, managing risks in cloud adoption. Relying on third-party cloud suppliers can offer significant benefits, like cost savings and scalability, but also introduces dependencies that we must carefully manage. So, when selecting these suppliers, we need to ensure they align with our security standards and business needs, because their services become an integral part of our operational ecosystem. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. For further support, please feel free to contact us. We're here to help with any questions or additional information you might need. Thank you so much for your time and attention throughout this presentation. Remember, we're committed to assisting you every step of the way, so don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks again, and have a great day.